Hello everyone, I am Sudhakar. In this video, we will be sharing the experience of Miss Richa Katare, who has been placed as an engineer in ExxonMobil Lubricants Private Limited. In this role, she would be working as a computational data scientist. Before we listen to Richa, I would like to introduce her formally to our viewers. Richa is a final year MTech student in the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Bombay. In her course, she has maintained a department rank of 2 based on academic performance over the semesters. Before joining IIT Bombay, she worked as a graduate engineer trainee for Reliance Industries Limited in Jamnagar refinery. Her MTech project is on iterative PCA in closed loop identification. Richa has also been representing the class of MTech 2019. Richa completed her BTech in chemical engineering from NIT Bhopal in 2018. Without further delay, I would request her to share her experience of getting placed in ExxonMobil Lubricants Private Limited. Thank you, Richa. Thank you for accepting my request.
Thank you, Sudhakar.
Yeah, Richa. So we can start with a brief introduction about the firm, the company, and the profile which you have been offered. So you could please tell us a bit about the firm and the profile.
Sure. So ExxonMobil is a multinational oil and gas corporation, and it has its headquarters in Irving, Texas. So it has its refineries in US, but it has some of its offices in India also. So I was offered a job role of computational data scientist in ExxonMobil. Uh, and it also came for one more profile, which is the core profile. And I gave the test for both of these profiles, but I got selected in this one.
Yeah, so as I know, as I have seen that you have been shortlisted for the profile of computational data scientist, and you will be joining the Bangalore location.
Yes.
So could you please tell us, like, how do you feel that the role of a data scientist in oil and gas industry means what will be their role mainly? Because nowadays we have seen that, for example, if we talk about Micron, so Micron is a firm dealing mainly in semiconductors, RAM, ROM, I guess. Yeah, RAM, ROM, they deal in mainly. But they also have the profiles for data scientists. And now in your case as well, ExxonMobil, it is an oil and gas company, but still they are also having data scientists. So how do you see that? What will be the role of data scientist in an oil and gas corporation or an industry?
So right now, I don't have a very good idea about what I will be doing, but just a small thing that I can share is there are many things in a refinery that need to be taken care of, which data scientists can solve using models, and these are some business problems. For example, if I take, for example, there's a heat exchanger, it has some fouling problem. What if we can take the photographs of the fouling that is going on inside the exchanger and check for its thickness level by using a machine learning model? So this is just an example, and things like this can be helpful for future in the industries, and slowly chemical industries are moving towards this revolution, and I think the future industries will have AI also in it. So this is a pretty exciting new branch of chemical engineering.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so we can use the information or the data existing to predict something or to prevent something.
Right,
Uh, yeah.
exactly. Preventive maintenance is something that companies are looking for. They don't have to take extended shutdowns. They can take small shutdowns and beforehand solve the problem if they already know what is going to happen in the future with a certain amount of probability.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
I
is
think, yeah. That's why the role of a data scientist is becoming important day by day in each and every industry. Be it anything, it can be a chemical refinery, it can be a chemical plant, or it can be, a semiconductor foundry. It can be anything. So yeah, so predictive maintenance, I guess, is the key to everything because they want to predict the failure well in advance so that the plant does not, shut down completely.
exactly right. So it will cost a fortune to a company if it has to take an entire shutdown, but
Yes.
in this way we can save a lot of money.
Yeah. Now, can you please tell us a bit about means the number of departments for which the JAF was open, this data scientist JAF For how many departments the JAF was open?
I think it was open for a lot of departments, but it was open only for MTech.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yes, it was not open for BTech. I think it was open for dual degree. But this time BTechs had a different JAF, and MTechs and core and data science had a different JAF.
Okay. In your case, it was a perfect match because you have studied chemical engineering for the last, 5, 6 years. And since you know chemical plants well or the processes going on in the chemical industry very well, so you will be a very good candidate for ExxonMobil.
Exactly, and plus I had an exposure to oil and gas industry previously because I was working in Reliance for 1 year, and because of that experience, that added up in the interview, of course.
Exactly, exactly. So, after signing the JAF, were all the students allowed to take the test, or there was any resume shortlisting before the test?
As far as I know, everybody was allowed to take the test, and after that, there was a shortlisting for the interview.
Okay, yeah. So, in that case, could you please elaborate a bit about the test, that the pattern of the test, the sections, the questions? Could you please tell us a bit about those things?
Yeah, so the test was, I think, about 1.5 hours, and there were three sections of 30 minutes each. First was of English and passage reading comprehensions. And the second one was on computational subjects, which included questions on data science. And the third was on core, pure chemical engineering. So, but this test was for both the roles, core role and as well as data scientist role. And the difficulty level was medium. It was not that tough. It was a multiple choice questions paper. So anybody could attempt at least all the questions in 30 minutes in that particular section.
Yeah. So there was an aptitude test, as you mentioned, and then there was a section for data science questions.
No, it was not exactly an aptitude test because there was English reading comprehensions and grammar.
Okay,
It's
verbal ability, sort of verbal ability.
verbal ability, not aptitude.
Okay, only verbal ability, and then there was a section on data science.
Data science, computation, and another section on core.
Okay, on code. So, in your case, you are a student of chemical engineering, so you can easily solve the questions of chemical engineering. But was that section meant for all of the students? Like, suppose some,
No,
yeah.
no. So chemical engineering core was different than other branches. Like core section was different for every branch.
Okay, that was dependent on their graduation or their core subject. Okay, so
Yeah,
everyone got the questions according to their branch. Okay,
exactly.
yeah. So you mentioned that data science, then computation. How are these two things different? Means you mentioned that there were some questions on data science and then some on computation. So how are these two things different? Or
Yes. So in data science, we are basically making models to predict something. It could be anything, but in computation, we are solving equations. Like they could be uh, PDs, like differential equations that we need to solve through some software or something like that. Then we have to have knowledge about matrices, optimization, a lot of things that involve computation only. And other things related to data science are machine learning models like random forest or linear regression or what all things like that. So there were a mix of questions from both of these things. So we had a compulsory subject in our first semester on computational methods, and that subject gave us a lot of knowledge about how to crack questions like these in this.
okay, okay, yeah. Mhm. Okay, so how did you prepare for the questions of data science, given that you are, although you studied subject on computational methods, so that helped you to, solve the questions of computation part mainly. But how did you prepare for data science questions?
Okay, so for data science, when I was in my second semester, I took audit subjects. One was Introduction to Machine Learning. It was offered by Electrical Department, and I took it as audit. But I didn't want only 40% to pass. I actually wanted to learn a lot of things from it. So I also referred to YouTube lectures along with that. And I learned a lot about machine learning from there. Then, when I came to third semester, I took two subjects. One was offered by my department itself. It was AI in process engineering. So it was basically relating this with chemical engineering somewhat. So sir used to give us examples related to how machine learning can be used in process engineering too. Then third was I took deep learning also in IEOR department. Well, these things helped me, and somewhat that I did from Coursera and YouTube lectures. All these things to prepare for this.
So I can see that you have studied, three courses at IIT Bombay itself.
Yes.
Introduction to machine learning, then your chemical department course, then the IER course. So I guess you were pretty much into the area of machine learning. You were.
Exactly. Like it is, I know it is a very hot topic right now, like machine learning and data science. Like everybody wants to do that, but you really have to have that interest. It's
Yes.
about because it requires coding, and a lot of people don't like it, but just take it because it is trending, and
Mm.
it shouldn't be taken because it is trending. It should be taken if we are really interested to
Mm.
learn that thing. It involves a lot of maths and a lot of coding. So
Yeah.
more of if you have interest in that area, then you can go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Mm. So those courses helped you to solve the questions of data science during the test of Exxon Mobil.
Yes, so
Not any, because as far as I know, the means we do not practice MCQ during those courses. So did you practice MCQ from somewhere else, or just those courses helped you?
actually before Exxon also I have given a lot of tests of other companies
Mm.
which also had MCQ questions like that. And Exxon has pretty simple questions that you can, if you have basic knowledge of machine learning, you can easily mark those answers quickly. So those tests, giving those tests also gave me a lot of knowledge because I came to know where I was lacking and what all I had to prepare more, and so that way I could solve those questions.
Yeah, yeah. So learning from your own mistakes and knowing your weak areas, I think those things really help to prepare for the upcoming test. So yeah, so that will be advice for upcoming students as well.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So and there was any coding questions in the test? Any coding?
No, coding question was not asked in the test, but it was asked in the interview. So
Okay. So the
yeah.
test only included MCQ on data science, verbal ability, computation, and your core chemical engineering things.
Yes, and I didn't mention this, but because I applied for both core and data science profile, I had to give all those three sections. But people who had only applied for one of those had a choice of giving either computational test or the core test with verbal ability compulsory for both.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
it
gave
makes
everything.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense that if okay, yeah, if you applied for both of the jobs, then you have to attempt all the sections. And in your case, you were a chemical engineering student, so you could easily apply for both of the jobs.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
most of the people in my class did the same thing. They applied for both and they gave all the tests. Right.
Yeah. Yes. So we have discussed the test. We have okay, and there was no resume shortlisting before the test, right?
No, no.
Yes, and then we have okay, we have yeah. So we have discussed almost these things, test, slave test, and all these things. So we can talk a bit about the resume now and the resume format which you use to sign the JAF of ExxonMobil. And how did you ensure that means being a student of chemical engineering and applying for data scientist? How did you make that balance?
So, firstly, resumes are very important because they have to be eye-catching, right?
Yeah.
So, first, I focused on MTP, the master's project that I'm doing. It is also related to machine learning. So, that's why I could write some points about it, which were eye-catchy. Secondly, I wrote about my Reliance experience because I had also attended shutdown, and in shutdown you learn a lot of things. So I wrote about those things in Reliance experience. I wrote about my internship in UPL. So I got selected in campus in NIT Bhopal. So I wrote about that. Then I wrote about core. I wrote about course projects, in which what I did is from Coursera I did some of the projects on machine learning because I did not have a chance due to COVID. The second semester didn't go well, so we couldn't do course projects in the campus. So I took some course projects from Coursera and some of them which I did in first semester on computational methods and chemical reaction engineering. So I just clubbed all of them in a course project section. Then I wrote about some PORs which I have taken in IIT Bombay and which I had taken before in my BTech college. So all those things I combined in a sequential way so that it looks good on my resume.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that they know that I know machine learning. I had to,
Mhm.
I had to put the subjects. I had to put that I took audit subject of machine learning, and I am taking deep learning in IIT Bombay. And the skills that I have, that is, I know Python, I know MATLAB. All those things I had to put in resume to convince them that they should take my interview. So that is to ensure that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely we need to do that because we need to prioritize all the things in our resume. Only
Yes,
then because I think Aman or some other guest was saying that usually your interviewer or the person who is reviewing your resume, they only invest 10 seconds to 20 seconds on your resume. Now
exactly.
it's your duty to make them stay for longer. थोड़ा
Yeah,
उनको अच्छा सा और time देंगे वो.
absolutely. That is the case. If you don't write anything which is worth, they won't even look at it for more than 10 seconds.
Yes. So you have to try really hard to, make it appealing in those 10 seconds, and you have to make it impressive, appealing, and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess your MTP is on iterative PCA in closed loop identification, right? And PCA stands for?
PCA is principal components analysis.
Okay, okay, yeah, we have been studying this in machine learning. So yeah, in your case, your MTP was, showing that you have a good knowledge of machine learning and you have been working on that. So
So it was also showing that I'm combining chemical engineering and
yes.
machine learning both to solve a problem.
Yes. Yeah, so that also again signifies that you are not just doing machine learning, but you are using it to solve some problem, or you can apply or you can harness this technique to solve any real life issues or any problem for that matter.
The main thing is that engineers have not yet used machine learning, and I
Mm.
want them to use it in our area because we can solve a lot of problems without a pump getting failed beforehand or any other equipment failure taking place, and we know that it is going to happen, and we can maintain it beforehand without taking a shutdown. So there are other things that can be done with machine learning. So I want to apply this in my branch itself. That is the main reason I wanted to go into ExxonMobil because it is giving me both chemical engineering and data scientist.
Yeah. So how do you see your job, core or non-core? क्या बोलेंगे आपके job को, core है कि non-core?
Also both core
Yeah,
non-core.
a perfect blend or mixture of these two.
Yes.
So we have discussed about resume. So you use two-page resume for this for signing this job.
Yes. So I made it sure that for core companies I use 2-page resume, and for non-core companies I use 1 page. But since ExxonMobil is a core company,
Mhm,
I
yeah.
use 2 page.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So two-page, and you maintain the core thing in this resume for ExxonMobil.
Yes, so I had to make sure that they know that I know chemical engineering also because
Yeah.
it's just not about non-core.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. So would you like to give any advice to your upcoming students or your upcoming juniors?
First of all, I would say trying to maintain pointers above it is important because more or less Exxon was not holding this kind of criteria, but there are many companies who want greater than 8 CPI, and so it is important to maintain that pointer. Secondly, I would say resumes are important and they should be structured well in advance so that whatever you are focusing at, whichever company you want to go, you make sure that the resume is based on that. So all these points, and you should know what you have written in your resume. Sometimes people just write everything and they just don't know what they have written.
Yeah.
So they have to be honest about what they are writing. All
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
just
So I guess 2 points, two takeaways from your from your your own experience, that CPI you should maintain a CPI greater than 8. Obviously, if it's 9, then so far so good. But
right.
and at the same time, you also need to know your resume. You cannot bluff, or you cannot write anything which you are not sure of.
Exactly, because if you take an audit subject and you have written it, but you have just passed it because you got more than 40%, and
Yeah.
then the interviewer is asking you questions on that subject and you don't know, then you're in a big trouble. In
Yeah. And given that you have done your BTech, MTech in chemical engineering, so how do you see this core versus non-core things? And how do you suggest your upcoming batches that which firms should they target, like core, non-core, and all these things?
Yes, so to be honest, they should take something they are interested in because I was interested in coding from the very first semester. I knew this, and I knew about machine learning growing up, and I read about it and I decided to take that project. But it is not important that you always switch to non-core. You can be interested in core because you have invested like 6 years in core BTech and then you're doing MTech and you don't want to go out of core at that time. So you can do that also. But what I would say is stick to the interest area because that is only going to take you forward. If you're not interested in what you are doing, you won't last longer in that particular field. That is what I can say.
Yeah. Yeah, so always pursue your interest, because several people at some point of time they give up, और उस टाइम ऐसा होता है कि बस जॉब चाहिए, कोई भी मिले they don't care.
A very frustrating time actually when you have to make your resume, you have to get it verified, and then you have to prepare apti as well because companies are going to ask aptitude. So that and your semester is also going on. You have subjects, you have midsems, tests, everything at once, and stage one is also there for the
Project
master
MCP phase
project.
1.
Yes. So everything comes up together and you feel frustrated, but that time you just need to know that it is just a matter of time. And once you get placed, everything would be worth. So till that time, you have to maintain that calm and composedness. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.